The worst thing that a young person can ever do is to roam around purposeless, is to roam around doing nothing, which is what the worst version of you does. The worst version of you does not have any personal goals for himself. He does not have any certain things that he wants to do. He doesn't even accept the ideas and goals of others. He just sits there, stagnant, like a piece of rock that is waiting to be sculpted by some external force. But the best version of you, on the other hand, he's different. He has a purpose in life. He wants to do some great things. He wants to be remembered in history. So he puts all his efforts and focus and concentration into being that type of person that can achieve his specified goals, so that he becomes the best version of himself. My name is Kanishram, and in this video I'm going to discuss about purpose and the reason why young people like us must have high goals and high dreams. But before I start talking about purpose, there's a small problem I'm noticing with today's world is that people who have no goal criticize people with goals. So I have a friend of mine who says that he wants to be a cricketer. And we are discussing about, each other's goals, and he says that I want to be a cricketer, bro. And there's another guy who's not even included in the conversation. He just comes to us and he's like, oh, there's no scope for cricket. Why do you want to be a cricketer? Why do you want to waste your time playing all those sports? You can just go ahead and enjoy your life. Well, if you are the type of person who criticizes people with goals, what I want you to do is I want you to immediately stop doing it and start to take a goal for yourself and actually try to make some progress in it. You'll understand that people with goals are better than people without goals. Because the people with goals need a certain amount of responsibility so that they achieve their specified goals. And the people like you who have no goal for yourself, who does not accept the goal of others, and who criticizes the goal of others, has zero responsibility. And what you're going to do is that you're going to end up failing, even though if you set a goal for yourself. And if you are a type of person that got criticized by someone, or you might even get criticized, it happens in all around the world. There's two ways in which you can react to this, the unpolite way and the polite way. And for you to be a good masculine man, you have to react to it in the polite way, because you cannot lose your temper and start shouting at them like, why do you care about my goal? It's my life, I'll do whatever I want, just get lost. That doesn't make sense. It just made them win over you, because they made you lose your state of control and they irritated you. But in a polite way, in which how you can react to this is that, well, you could listen to what they're saying. You could okay, and that's it. Don't mind about it. Just leave them alone and speak to the people that you're currently speaking to. That's what my friend did. He's like, okay, that might be a good idea. And he's like, that's it. He doesn't even tell him anything else. He just told us that, oh yeah, and when I'm 20 years old, I expect to go to coaching and stuff. That's what he literally told us. That's the polite way in which you can react when people criticize. And now let us discuss about the importance of purpose as a young person. So as a young person, you are full of energy, full of life, if you want me to be honest. You have to have something as an aim. You have to be adventurous. That's how you get the actual joy of being young. I have certain goals for me when I'm young, and I have certain long-term goals for me when I'm old. I have a clear vision for myself when I'm 90 years old. I have a clear vision of the kind of life that I want to live when I'm 90 years of age. Do you understand? Let's imagine you are a car and I'm a car. Just imagine, okay? We are both some of the best cars in the world. You're a Lambo, I'm a Lambo. And we have the best engine, the best wheels, the best type of every spec that you might name. But I have somewhere that I need to be. So I can take this Lamborghini of my body and I can just use it to reach that particular location. And if I constantly keep using my Lamborghini, then that Lamborghini is going to be used and it's going to be valuable to me. But let's imagine you, the Lambo, which is, of course, you have nowhere you want to be. You don't have a goal for yourself. You don't have a purpose for living. What do you imagine yourself to be? If that Lambo just stays in your garage, what happens? It gets filled with dust and it becomes useless and valueless to people. Even though it has so much potential, even though it has the best engines, the best type of tires, it still will be valueless and useless if it is not used. So you as a young person have unlimited amount of energy, right? And you have so much years ahead of you so that you can try, fail, experiment, learn more, try again, become better, try again, fail, become better again, do something else. I have like 5 rules for me, like that I just follow when I'm young. Okay? So the first rule for me that I have is that I have to analyze the life of people who are older than me and the decisions that they have taken in their past during my age. That's the first thing. Second thing is to be adventurous. I want to do something new, something novel, right? But it's not something like on Monday, it's not like it's not like Monday I have to be a movie director, Tuesday I have to be a doctor, Wednesday I have to be an engineer. It's not like that. The things that I wanted to do, the novelistic, the new things, are things which are connected to my personal goal, right? When I mean new, I don't mean it in that way. So don't confuse yourself. So when I mean be adventurous, I mean do more stuff, learn more things. And the third thing is to understand life from my own perspective. Well, you can understand life from the perspective of others. When I speak to my mom or my father or my brother or even anyone, I can sense a small understanding of how they have understood their life. And it's good for me and also for you to learn those things because you get more knowledge. There's 3 best ways for you to learn. Number 1, by asking advice to others. That's one way, like passing the baton to master to apprentice, passing the knowledge from father to son, all those kinds of things. The second way is for you to learn by yourself, for you to explore and collect information. Third way is to just read. So these are 3 ways that are used for me to gain my knowledge so that I can understand life at a better perspective. I never say that I have understood life in the complete way, not in the 100%, and I hope that I never will. But I hope to understand it in a better way. When I was 12 years old, I had an understanding of life in a certain way. Now I'm 15, I have an understanding of life in a certain way. And when I'm 20, 25, I have an understanding of life in a different way. So these are things that I follow, like right now, based on how I want to live my life. So I take all these things, make up a conclusion of certain things, and then just use it or imply it in my own life, which I want you to also do. So if you're the type of person with no purpose, with no knowledge about life, then what do you expect yourself to be? Everyone in this world is currently at war with something or someone or anything it may be. Okay? When I say war, it's not always like blood, bullets, swords, fighting, sounds, battle cry. I wake up every day and I'm still at war. With who? With the devil. The devil wants us to fail, but God wants us to win. Right? So I'm at war against him. I stand by the side of God. You can find your identity in certain things such as you can find your identity in being a family man. You can find your identity in God. You can find your identity in being a fit person. You can find your identity in being a businessman. You can do all these types of things. And the best thing for you young guys, young kings out there is that you have more years ahead of you. You have more time for you to experiment, for you to learn. The common thing that I'm seeing with young men today is that none of them are chasing a true purpose. But they just wake up, stuff some food in their mouth, do some stupid things, and go back to sleep. And if you even ask them why they do these kinds of things, right? They have no reason. But if you ask me or someone that I might know, why do you do these kinds of things? They have a strong reason of why they do it. So your reason is like the basement for your building. If you have a weak reason, if you have a weak reason, it means that you have a weak basement. That means you can't build your building up and up and up to how many floors you might want it to be. But if you have a strong reason, which means that you have a strong basement, it means that you have a strong basement, which then you can just start building your building above to the heights. That means that if you have no reason for your life, you have no reason why you're living, then you might not reach the kind of heights other people will in their lives. And if you don't then we'll be useless. You might argue with me for saying this, but a pen that can write is still more useful than a pen that is made out of gold that can't write. If my goal is to write, then the pen that can write is better than the pen with gold. But you can still say things like, oh, gold is more expensive. Just as lost. But you as a young guy must have a goal for yourself. You as a young guy must have some kind of purpose in your life that makes you want to wake up every day. That makes you want to say that I am responsible for my own life. I am responsible for my health. I am responsible for my knowledge. I am responsible for everything that happens in my life. You need to have a goal for you to say those things. And when you start saying these things, you automatically be a better person. Right? So, why do you have to dream high and why do you have to have high goals? Simple. Let's imagine you aim for 100. Even though you fail to be 100% consistent discipline, you'll at least get 80. See? And imagine the amount of thing that you would get if you aim for 1,000. You'd get at least 800. Which is why I want your goal to be so high and high. It doesn't matter if you achieve it. No one's going to even remember your name after you die. Maybe for the next 1,000 years, 2,000 years pass by, no one might know. But you could say that, well, there are kings whose names are currently being studied by all of us. Well, if you do want to be like them, then you have to be 100% consistent. You have to be 100% disciplined on your personal goal. There are goals that you want to do. There are things in life you want to do and there are things in life you have to do. Like a father has to provide for his family and there are things a father might want to do. But you have to do both. Right? You can't sacrifice this for this. You can't sacrifice this for this. Both of them matters. And for you to be a true, valuable masculine man, you have to have an amount of responsibility for you to achieve both of these things. So I hope that in this video you understand why you need to have purpose as a young person and certain ways in which you can be a better person in social scenarios. All I want to say to you is that don't just roam around purposelessly, because if you do, you are just wasting your young years, which is full of energy and life. So, have a purpose for yourself. Even though if it's not as big as I mentioned, at least something. Have a small purpose for yourself and live your life according to your purpose. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because in the upcoming videos I'll be coming up with similar ideas and philosophies which will help you to be the better version of yourself. A man who chases purpose is more valuable than a man who chases pleasure.